Good morning. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this March 17th, 2026 working session of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Shelby Rockaway, our office coordinator, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how to participate remotely. Shelby.
There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's working session, whether you are joining us in person or virtually. If you are here in person and would like to make public comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you are joining us virtually, we will ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda. If you are joining us virtually and are experiencing technical issues with audio or video during the meeting, submit a comment in the chat feature and our communications manager will help you troubleshoot. If you would like closed captioning during this meeting, you will have to manually change your settings. Click on the captions button and select show captions. The audio and video of this meeting is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be posted to wcroads.org in the next few days. There are printed copies of today's meeting agenda on the table near the front door, and it's also posted on our website. And now I'll turn it over to Chair Fuller.
Thank you, Shelby. I now call this March 17th, 2026 working session meeting to order and ask Shelby to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Present.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Present.
The following directors are in attendance. Managing Director Matt Washtenaw, Director of Operations Adam Lape, Director of Engineering and County Highway Engineer Brent Schlack, Director of Finance Dan Ackerman.
At this time, may I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Support. Additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Shelby, if you would, please.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the agenda is approved as presented. Next, we have this time which is set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board, and Shelby will explain how people may be recognized to offer comments.
Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually. For virtual attendees, we have provided some instructions on the screen on how to participate and make public comment. If you're attending this meeting virtually and would like to make public comment, please raise your hand now. If you dialed into the meeting from your phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. Our communications manager will unmute virtual participants with raised hands one at a time and will announce your username or last 4 digits of your phone number when it's your turn to speak. Please share your name and address before beginning your comments. For in-person attendees, we will start with those of you who signed up on the sign-in sheet as you walked in. If you didn't sign in, you are still welcome to make comment. Our communications manager will notify you when it's your turn.
I do not see anyone present for public comment. Anyone virtually, Tiffany?
No, Madam Chair.
All right. We will move on with the agenda, and I will hand it over to Managing Director Matt Washtenaw.
Thank you, Chair Fuller. This morning we have a presentation by Nicole Peterson, our HR manager, regarding an HR update. So welcome up to the microphone, Nicole.
Thank you. Good morning, Nicole Peterson,
Good
HR
morning.
manager. Happy St. Patrick's Day. What I'd like to touch on today was exploring some programs or activities that we have here at the Road Commission that aren't commonly talked about. A couple things are employee driven. So I just wanted to expand on those and enlighten you into some of the things that happen behind the scenes here that you may not know about. So the first would be the safety committee. I know we've talked about this briefly in the past, but I did want to review it again. So I am on my 18th year here, and the safety committee was long established prior to me starting, but it has evolved over time. About, I would say 5 to 8 years ago, they decided that it would be more productive when they meet for there to not have senior leadership there, so that it was much more employee driven, to feel that they were able to openly discuss topics. And I'll talk about later that they do still bring senior leadership back into the fold with the committee. But here we have a list of the current committee members. Craig Timmer, our safety coordinator, will stay on as a permanent member. and then they run with terms. It is a voluntary for people to decide to join, and then we fill roles as we have them available. So we really try to have a cross-section of the organization covered so that we're getting feedback, suggestions, participation from across the organization.
Question.
Yes.
How do the at-large people end up on the safety committee?
At large, it really comes down to those that are interested that doesn't have a place in the other categories.
So they self-select, they volunteer and say, I want.
Yeah.
Okay,
And we
okay.
say all the other, spots are filled, and so, those are just kind of some open.
Okay.
So the safety committee does meet monthly downstairs in the assembly room. They send out their prior agenda. I'm at least included on that. And once they conclude, they do have meeting minutes that I will show in the next slide that they submit to the entire organization, just so that they are aware of what's happening in the safety committee. Oftentimes, Matt will recognize the safety committee, say at the spring luncheon, ask them to stand and thank them for their participation and what they've accomplished throughout the year. So they meet monthly, and
Nicole?
then they,
Question.
Oh, no, I was just gonna ask, who are the senior leadership
Yep.
persons?
So that would be Dan Ackerman, myself, Matt McDonnell, Adam Lake, and Brett Schlack are invited to those quarterly meetings where they have topics that they've saved up or that they would like to discuss with us. Even sometimes they've had some discussions that they haven't wanted to wait, and we've invited them to our leadership meeting that we have weekly on Mondays with a larger group where we can discuss that topic.
Thank you.
So when they do meet, they are reviewing their old business, so whatever has been reoccurring on that agenda, any new business, and they have an open forum topic. Really, the open forum is a good opportunity where those that are coming from their different yards or departments to bring up suggestions or things that they've heard through other employees. On their agenda, they also have reoccurring topics every meeting. That would be, they review all incident reports. So an employee is required to complete an incident report form when they have either been involved in an accident, a near miss, any kind of incident that they may have. It could be an injury. We really encourage reporting. There is no repercussions for reporting. We're just trying to understand what's occurring. And so they review incident reports. We have the safety suggestions program. So any suggestions that people can submit anonymously or put their name down. And then we have a monthly safety topic that goes out to all staff. So it may be upcoming flea and tick is something that we'll be talking about and having posted, or, during the winter, whether it's safe driving in the winter conditions and having your vehicle prepared, or frostbite. It's different each month. This month is severe weather awareness, I believe. We've been talking a lot about that just because that is a statewide initiative.
I thought I saw your hand,
Yeah.
Commissioner McCollum.
So to be on the committee, do you have to have been here so many years, or does it matter?
No, it does not matter.
Okay.
We take anyone willing.
Go ahead.
Everyone's welcome. I'm sure if we had even more, we could find a place. We definitely value the input. So, because sometimes some meetings might have lower participation just in if it's a winter maintenance day and it happens to fall on that. We understand not everybody's going to be able to make it, but for the most part, they're all engaged.
Okay.
I don't know how to present. I clicked the link and I have this up, but now I don't know how to present. I was going to show an example of what a agenda looks like, but I will just go over their last one from February and let you know one of the old business initiatives they have is they're coming up with a program called Good Catch. And that is really, they're gonna go around to all the different yards as like a road show and present that and get feedback from employees. The Good Catch program is really encouraging the near miss reporting. So they've been working on that for some time. They just recently had updated the safety policy handbook. So that was in coordination with HR and then also Craig Timmer and the safety committee. So they will go around and touch on hot topics within that and they need to know changes for employees. And that also helps different departments in different areas get out to the different yards and even here at the main yard and see different faces and just kind of promote what they do and what they're proud of.
Commissioner Yamas.
I guess that's because I tried in vain to pull up this link and I'm like.
I
"Oh, that
know,
won't come up."
I'm sorry.
That's okay, great.
Yeah, I tried to.
You did too.
Yeah.
I don't think. Other things that they've been talking about, they have the My Wish Safety Grant, which is they try to find free money anywhere they can through like the state of Michigan. So they have safety grants where they're able to provide training or provide discounts.
There we
Thank you. She's amazing.
The safety grant,
Oh.
one of the ones was the headsets, the communication devices. that
yeah.
Oh,
was-
okay.
came
Where
from
they
the safety
paid for
committee.
My
half,
wishes
they
came
pretty much
out.
covered it, half of it, 50% of it. So they definitely work on that as well. Yeah, yeah. So just an idea of what they're working on and what's coming up.
And then they'll send out, Nicole mentioned, minutes following the agenda and it goes out organizational wide.
There's been some really great ideas generated through the safety committee. One of their open forum topics and something that they had changed within the operations department is we used to have chains, like when we had to pull people out or, you know, if they were stuck or anything and we switched to ropes. And we got a lot of positive feedback from that. So it's just those little ideas that we want to make sure they know that we're listening, that their opinion is important. They're the ones, right? The boots on the ground
Yeah.
that are living it daily. So.
Commissioner Smers, anything, since this is your lane?
This is definitely my lane, but no, it all looks good.
Okay.
Thank you. Can I go back to my presentation, Tiffany?
Thank you, Tiffany.
Yes. The next one is a group called Employee Think Tank. So this was developed from employees and it's been around for about 10 years. What we had in the previously was just an individual, really, we called it the flower fund. And we would have boxes where people could put their empty soda cans in, and then we would cash that in and that would go into a bank account. And we used that to purchase flowers for if bereavement for an employee and there was certain criteria. And then gift cards if someone was going through a hardship, like they've been off for longer than 30 days on some sort of leave.
But yeah, I can bring in my.
Commissioner Yamas?
Cans,
Sorry.
well, we don't
Give
do
me
cans anymore. I'm not
don't
opposed
do that
to
anymore.
opening that back up because I'm very much a let's recycle everything type of person.
Okay.
And we do have recycling now, thanks to facilities. But so the employee think tank, Shelby, and then Alicia Held, who reports to me, are permanent members on that group. And then once again, it is all volunteer, looking for cross-representation throughout the organization. Sometimes you might see familiar names. They're on safety committee and here because they're really like to be involved.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
So the employee think tank, evolving from this flower fund, which I'll get to the flower fund portion later, but what they wanted to do is make sure that employee recognition was being equal across the organization. So if somebody was going to retire, sometimes their department will take it upon themselves and they have like a going away luncheon and they have a connection to the sign shop. So they got a sign made and have everybody sign it and they collected donations and they got a gift. And we appreciate all that, but we wanted to make it consistent so that if somebody maybe is in a small group or maybe they're not the most popular within the organization, they're still receiving the same recognition for whatever the accomplishment is here. And then they really expanded on it when I go over the different things that we're doing, things we weren't even thinking of, your first baby while you're here, if you get married, like we're really trying to also recognize not just the professional accomplishments, but, you know, personal accomplishment or recognition as well. So when we are recognizing, there's different ways that we do this. We have the weekly update. So if you read through Matt's when it comes out, you have birthdays listed, anniversaries, any other important accomplishments, graduates from college, that sort of thing. We also have the digital board signs, and that comes up as a PowerPoint on your computer when it goes into sleep mode. So you're able to see the pictures and announcements as well. As you know, we come forward to the board for recognition on things like retirement and then 25-year anniversaries. We do cards that are signed by senior leadership and the employee's manager, and I'll go over when cards are sent out. And then we have gifts sometimes as well. So here we have the chart on who gets what when. I was kind of bummed because I didn't get my 8-year anniversary vest. I'd been here a long time by the time that came about. But people are excited about it. Vesting is a big deal. Once you have your eight years here, you get a vest because you're vested.
Asking for the MERS retirement.
Yes,
system.
you are vested within the MERS retirement system. And you're vested for the healthcare savings program if you are one of the employees that is participating in that. So for us, the 8-year mark is important. I think other organizations wouldn't understand that unless you're in the pension program. So even when there is a new hire and you're getting ready to start here, when they come in, we have a trucker hat that Aaron Burkholz helped design because he wears a lot of hats. So we knew what was in
Is
fact
it a cowboy hat?
No, it's not.
Not a
And probably, I'm sure, if it was up to him, but it is a trucker hat. We've received a lot of, you see them wearing it on their first day. They're proud to work here and show off our logo. And then, but before they start, they get a card mailed to their home, welcoming them and that we're excited to have them joining us. So there's a lot of cards that get sent out on anniversaries just for them to know it's not forgotten. And then of course, 25 years for us feels like a big one. So they come in and they have their resolution and the option to get a gift card, whether they want to go to Lewis Jewelers or purchase something on Amazon. I believe we'll have a 25-year next month. So we'll be able to experience that. As later today, we have a retirement. So we've been through plenty of those where we now have those beautiful plaques that Tiffany Oliphant orders for us. And, you know, we have a sign that the sign shop makes that we all sign like a little, our well wishes that they take home with them and just some of our parting gifts. And then, like I said before, birthday, engagement, wedding, the different ways, the baby, we really like, I like the onesie and they get a little book. So even if it wasn't your, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tiffany, even if it wasn't your first baby here while you're working here, gets a onesie in the book.
Right.
So, and then we talked about, if there's the death of someone, you know, that we're able to do an arrangement or a donation in lieu of. So the money from this comes from rewards that we get from our credit cards. We already had a substantial amount built up from the flower fund, from the money it's this, or is it, maybe I misspoke. Yeah, no, I'm right. So it, they had a fund already built up, and we also get rewards from credit cards. So then also the rewards from the fund in the checking account or savings account. And that's where we're able to keep building money and stay in a good position to keep doing these rewards. And obviously some things are paid for by the road commission too, like the hats and the onesies.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've seen over time is really that engagement, not only wasn't on the chart, but they've organized activities for things after work, whether you're going to the Blast Nixon Farm or going bowling. It's really just trying to connect our employees that don't necessarily have day-to-day interaction. That's another component of the think tank that I've seen over time.
Yeah.
And especially a sense of belongingness to the WCRC team. So I'm really proud of where it's gone, and just we continue to support it from a leadership standpoint, but it is employee driven. And if there's we're always looking for feedback from them, like for instance, when we did our tailgate internal touch-a-truck, that was a lot of discussion with the think tank, and they've assisted in helping enhance that as well. So it's been a great group, much like the safety committee.
Yeah. Commissioner McCollum? Yes. I know that I don't think the think tank does this, but it just brought this to mind that in the event of a spouse passing away, if that person was a Washtenaw County Road Commission employee, what's the process for helping that person's spouse with information on death benefits?
Yeah, that would go through HR.
Okay.
Yeah, that wouldn't be involved with them. So
Okay.
just reviewing, what I would do is review if they have any optional life policies that they had already purchased for the employee.
Mhm.
I would connect them with MERS, because they're going to have to redesignate who their beneficiary is for their pension. So just it's the same process as any kind of change of status for an employee. Even when they give birth, we go through the same things, make sure your beneficiaries are up to date, and sometimes people have things to change.
Okay, thanks.
So also with this employee engagement and wellness fund, as they called it formerly, the Flower Fund, something that came to mind, I wish I had a picture of, but the engineering department had applied and had gotten money to purchase gingerbread kits. And they had a competition downstairs by departments building their little houses, and then had those of us in administration come down and judge. And so it was just a fun, and then they also had their like holiday lunch. It was just an interactive, fun team building event that they did. And it was really fun to see and judge. So I just thought that was a good idea and experience.
Is that where the chili cook-off came from too?
No, that's through supervisors meeting. We've had that for a while. I just suggested, I think we should have a salad. Well, there's so many salads, I said. Taco salad, pasta salad. So that may be coming actually in June. I would expect that, so. Anything else on employee think tank? Or ETT, we call it all the time. Next, if you've heard about MPSI and employees attending MPSI, that would be the Michigan Public Service Institute. So we have been sending employees at least 10 years to this program. It had started really just in focusing on foremen, and that has grown to project managers, group leaders, those that we see a future in leadership here at the Road Commission. So it is a lot of public works that attends there. It's annually. You can either be in the spring sessions or the fall sessions, and they hold it up in Mount Pleasant. Lou Bender, you may hear that name. He is like the godfather of all this. It's been longstanding. What's great about it is getting to interact with the different people from other similar organizations, not necessarily just all road commissions. I've seen people really blossom. When we had James Hugh here, he was like the president of his class. And sometimes I felt like James was quiet and reserved to me, and to see him flourish there and have people, seeing him year after year and recognizing him and, just interacting with him made my heart happy. So we see people kind of come out of their shells when they're there. You don't really have a choice because participation is pretty mandatory.
Question, did we have 1,000 people?
No, that's the
Overall.
program overall.
Okay.
We have had over 30 graduates of the
Okay.
program.
If we could go back to the slide, I did want to highlight, this is a partner program with the American Public Works Association, Michigan chapter. So the MPSI has a board which they look at content for their trainings. And again, it's a week-long training, but it's also you go 3 consecutive years. So that's how you graduate the program. And they cover a variety of topics. They also have Director's Day, which we can go and participate in, which has been very, very rewarding for all those that have an opportunity to attend.
Yeah, and we try to have someone from senior leadership attend. Oftentimes it's Adam because it's people from his department, the graduation day as well, or ceremony in the evening.
Do we recognize them here? Do we?
Yeah, you can see them in the weekly. So my weekly message oftentimes will have either in the spring or fall, we'll list the graduates.
Okay.
Yeah. And we keep track of the graduates. That's the next slide.
Well, yeah, but so when he said it's 3 weeks, so he has the way the program is set up, they have 3 years. And so if you miss a year, you got to try to find year 2 the next time it catches up again. So it's like the 3 same years, it's just rotating, and he makes adjustments and may have new speakers or a different topic on a day. But for the general, year 1 may be all leadership development, year 2 has your service excellence, and year 3 has your supervisory skills. So since we have so many people and we believe in MPSI and what they're teaching, we have what they call the MPSI alumni group. As we said, that's over 30 graduates. They do meet monthly just to review topics, and we have them present quarterly at the supervisors meetings. So supervisors meetings, we hold monthly, but we have them choose a topic, and it may be, we just did one on gossip and hearsay and just kind of how to handle those things. We played a game of telephone, a different type of game of telephone. They come up with the activity to engage the group and just remind us about some of the things that they've learned to keep it fresh.
We also will have participants come back after they've done their week and share with the supervisors group, what valued lessons and did you take away? What are the takeaways essentially? Because one of the things that's driven home during MPSI is this isn't a binder you put on your shelf. It's something that you need to incorporate into your daily habits and bring it back. That we're investing in training, and that training needs to be brought forth in your day-to-day. So they do a really good job of that.
Did you have a question,
Yeah,
Commissioner?
is there a cost to this program?
Yes.
I don't have that number.
I don't have that number either.
We
We
can certainly
underwrite
get
it.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we pay for it.
Yep.
There's a week, so you're staying at a hotel. They all stay at the same hotel. I believe it's the Comfort Inn in Mount Pleasant from Sunday evening to Friday morning. And then we pay for the cost of the program as well.
Yeah, I can certainly follow up with that cost.
Thanks.
You bet.
And are they paid their work
Yes, they
time
are.
too?
Yes,
So it's another earn while you learn
yes.
model. Okay.
Good question.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll move to Everbridge. So Everbridge is our mass notification system that we've had for a couple years now, where in case of an emergency, we are able to send out a communication to all employees. So we have everyone's email and cell phone numbers programmed into the system. So I coordinate with HR and IT, coordinate to make sure lists are up to date. And so we are able to send real-time messages when there is an emergency. We can do it also after to let them know that everything is clear, and it goes through multiple channels. So we would get a text. Your phone also starts ringing, and it'll leave a voicemail. Your Teams will start ringing, and for example, we do test, let's say it's a fire alarm, and that I'll cover some of the results we've had for that. We have you either enter 1, that you are safe, or 2, that you need help. And then we're able to track who's responded. And if we haven't heard from somebody, then we get on our chain of trying to track down where they are. Maybe they're absent that day. Maybe they were offsite. We had one, they were in the bucket. They didn't have their cell phone on. They're working on the signal. And we're like, where are they? And we heard from them after the fact, but it at least narrows down the scope of knowing who may or may not be, say, in the building during a fire alarm.
Yeah, years
You have a
ago,
question?
it was clipboards. You'd go out with employee lists and you'd try and track it that way. And
What a headache.
yes, that's, sorry, I didn't. mean to-
Commissioner Yamas.
So the targeted two-way communication, that is like specific people that that are over a group, is it supervisors, or what do you mean by targeted two-way?
So the administrators of Everbridge would be Chris Quinter, myself, Matt McDonnell, and Dan Ackerman. And we are on a list of who would initiate this first in case of an emergency. So for example, Chris is off for the week, so he is very good at making sure that I am available in case anything happens for the week, that I would be the one to send the message out. And then if I was absent, then we go to the next person on the list. We try to have just one point of contact that's going to be responsible for that. And we chose people that we knew wouldn't be right down in, like Adam Lape. He could send it, but he's probably going to be busy with other things if we just had a tornado go through. So somebody else that can focus on that. The two-way communication would be, I can create the message, or we have templates already created in the system to send out. The communication that I would get back would just be what your answer is to my question.
Okay.
So I can select the multiple choice, that select 1 if you're safe, select 2 if you need help, select 3 or whatever, but you're not able to necessarily send me a full message, text message back to the system.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, I was gonna ask the same question, but do you have backup people? You sound like you have designated people to do the.
Yeah, so like I said, so Chris would be, if something happened, Chris is number 1 on the list. I am his backup. And
Oh,
then I
okay.
have a backup. And then that backup has a backup. And I had something else to share. Oh, you asked about groups. So I can define it by groups, but like if it's just something here at the main yard, but we still plan on sending, let's say we're on lockdown here at the main yard. We're still going to alert everyone just so that they're not coming and arriving here because people are so in and out, but we can isolate it to just certain areas. But when we go to have, like, let's say if we have a tornado drill, that will go out to all employees.
So is this a subscription? Because Everbridge is also used by the sheriff's department.
Yes, it's something we pay for.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and ultimately, it's a great communication tool that gets us almost instant results, which is phenomenal, especially when you're dealing with a county-wide organization with multiple yards and crews assigned. They can literally be anywhere in the county. And so when emergency happens, we need to be able to quickly communicate information and get feedback from our employees. And really, this was a solution that was a home run ultimately, in my opinion, in that we didn't have anything previously other than really tracking people through cell phones and trying to do the calling, and it just takes so much time and effort.
I
And during an
think-
emergency, time is critical, obviously.
I think, if you experience or see how, schools, universities and the messages that they have go out, that's the similar same type of program.
Commissioner Smith.
So my understanding is you're trying to notify like 150 plus people at once. I
Correct.
mean, you're not doing that with a text message. So I mean, this.
This will,
I mean,
it's
it's a
just,
text message, but you're not
yes,
creating
exactly.
a group, so.
Yeah.
I mean, this makes total sense.
And
Yeah.
one of the things that I think its strength is it hits you text, cell phone, email. You cannot ignore it, and it will keep cycling until you answer.
Even
So
better.
that is, and people are like, a little bit, it takes getting used to. So you really have to understand, all right, I've got to answer this, and we practice it because it's really muscle memory. You want to be able to, oh yeah, what's the app? What's my login? So we meet, and you may be covering this. I'm sorry.
No, but practice as far as those that administer it.
Yes, and
Um,
also receiving it. Like we do tornado drills, we do
Yeah.
fire drills, and that's very intentional.
Yeah, so that's where I'll get in, I just did a screenshot of some of the templates or past ones that we have sent out previously. And you can see where maybe it's just a message that goes out, maybe we need to pull, and that's again, 1, I'm safe, 2, I need help. And the different topics, we have hazardous material, active shooter, weather, fire, tornado, any topic that we decide that we need to send alert on. So with this, this is a screenshots from my cell phone because we actually have it as an app, those that administer this. So I have it on my cell phone, and that's where Matt talked about, we practice logging in to make sure, because it's not something that we use regularly. So this was the last time we had a fire drill, and the tornado drill on what the response rates were and how it looks in the feedback. And so it's small for me, but you can see how people answered in the different types of
Yeah.
ways. It's their option on how they want to be able to do that. I find text to be easiest myself, but I usually know the alert's coming and not caught off guard. So not experiencing it from the recipient's experience. And then when we were able to log in and see the exact names of who it is that has not responded, and that's where we're able to start contacting foremen, knowing that, or checking kiosk, oh, they didn't punch in today, they're already on annual leave. Okay, check, we don't need to worry about them.
Yeah, and I think each of the department heads can also, even though Adam and Brent are directors of engineering and operations, they are going to be in an emergency dealing with a lot of different things, but they have access, and essentially we can drill down very quickly. You can see in the case of the fire drill, there were 17 people that weren't confirmed, and in the tornado drill, 19. We were able to really get a hold of supervisors quickly and determine, all right, where are these folks? And some of them were, like Nicole said, they were non-responsive as they were doing something, and they didn't have their phone directly on them, or if they were working in the field, and that's okay too. But we're able to contact the supervisor real quick and determine that.
Can you do this monthly? You have drills? I'm just thinking of the sirens in Dexter.
Quarterly.
They do their monthly, first Sunday of the month
Right.
at noon, they have a siren test
Yeah.
out there.
And this is just another picture of the screenshot. This would be if I logged onto my computer. It's internet-based on the web browser, so I'd be able to log in and see different ways that the notifications came in. So these are just different viewpoints.
And you only have to respond to one of the 3, I take it.
Correct.
Okay.
Anything else on Everbridge before I move on?
Wonders of essentially the internet, right?
Fortunately, we do have to use it, but obviously if we ever do, we're gonna be
It's in
thankful we
place.
had it.
Yeah, and one of the features was severe weather. And obviously, we're coming into that season. And we all have cell phones that have various alerts, right? But
Yeah.
if we know that there's a safety concern for our crews and our organization, that's our preferred method, because we don't want to rely, people are doing their work. They're not necessarily sitting on looking for a radar map, right? So
Right, right.
waiting for an alert. And so this is a great tool. In my opinion, it's been much needed. And we've had it for a couple of years now.
Mhm, yeah. And so finally, I just wanted to touch base again and about the CDL program, because that's still going well. The locations have changed. They don't even advertise for Washtenaw and Jackson Community College anymore. I think it's just difficult to find instructors for them. So a lot of this has
Okay.
taken place in Ohio. The closest location for us is Monroe Community College, which really hasn't been disruptive. We have so many employees that live south of here anyways, that sometimes, for one that started yesterday, it's closer to his home to go to Monroe than up to work. So that was a win-win for him. So we've been going to Monroe Community College, and I really have to say, it's just been such positive feedback. I know communications was interviewed and has a special article from a recent graduate that they'll get his feedback on how the program was.
Where is Terry State?
That's in Ohio. And then I know the Perrysburg is an area of Toledo.
The South Toledo.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm interested that WCC is not a participant anymore because the president of the college confronted me at one event and said, "Why aren't you here?" And I think I referred that back to Matt or to you to respond to Dr.
Yeah.
Belanca.
It's definitely not Trainco. If they have anything else occurring, I'm not aware, but I will look that back up just to double check their schedule. But I would say for the last year, we've been going to Monroe Community College.
Yeah, Trainco is essentially the organization that does the training,
Yep.
and then it's hosted at these various spots. I think the issue that we had with WCC is Trainco didn't have enough trainers, and so they weren't able to supply the trainer.
Just like nursing, there aren't enough.
Yeah, as you can imagine, with the CDL drivers, it's a high demand job, but the trainers as well is another difficult task of trying to fill that demand.
And Trainco, I know that there's other schools out there, but at least from my perspective, their office staff is phenomenal for me to work with. I get instant communication back. She asks for cell phones. They're communicating directly with the drivers, making sure they have everything they need as far as paperwork. The invoice comes timely. I've had for the majority, positive feedback about the trainers, the trucks. And so I'm not looking to change because it's going well for us.
Sure.
So I
Yeah,
trust that.
There's other organizations that certainly can come to your organization, do the training, but they're more costly.
And where's Madison? Wisconsin?
No, still Ohio.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Yamas.
So you said there's other companies, and if Washtenaw Community College wants us to, we're still paying that fee. So the other companies are too expensive, or you just don't?
No, I have no reason to change because right now we're happy with Trainco.
I don't mean change like add on,
Oh,
for.
if there was something at Washtenaw Community College, that would be a lot more convenient.
Yeah,
There's a program that runs out of Briarwood Mall. There's an individual there. He's a single one individual that does training and has a truck out in the parking lot, and we did go visit him. his is not structured. I like the structure that Trenco has. They have their class times. They're with other individuals. So maybe you didn't think of that question, but the other person did think of that question.
Right.
And you're all, there's say a group of 5 that are learning together. I think that's important. The person at Briarwood is, oh, if they want to come in for 2 hours this day and 2 hours the next day, as long as they get it done in the next 6 weeks. I like the structure better.
Yeah.
I think especially if you don't have a CDL at all, that's more beneficial for you.
Commissioner. Do you want to flip forward?
You have a question?
I'm gonna let
Me.
Nicole go through this. I do have a question on the CDL program training.
So
Commissioner Smers.
my comment is more of a comment than a question. As somebody that oversees one of these programs, I have 3 dedicated people to just running this program for us. Out of 80 programs, this one takes the most people. So the structure that you're talking about is super important. So if you have someone like what you were saying, just come in here and there, and there's a federal audit, the person loses their CDL. So I think Trainco, in my opinion, unless WCC has something else similar, but yeah, we just went through our biannual audit and they pull up records like you wouldn't believe. And if it is a situation where somebody's, show up when you want, and it's just not, that individual can be in trucking for a while and all of a sudden get a letter saying your class wasn't sufficient and you're done with your license. So it's, all-time shortage of CDL drivers, and they make it more difficult than ever right now. So it's just, it's a little nuts.
Thank you.
Are you waiting or do you want to go?
Well, I don't know. I just had a question about the driving. I thought this was an excellent program here, everything that they cover. But driving defensively and the combating road rage, which I think is great. I think everyone should go through that program, whether you're a CDL or not. What is the driving defensively? What's that about?
Well, this was taken right from the skills that they're teaching. So I would say, you're a big vehicle when you're out on the freeway and just, people don't have patience. People cut you off. We all see the cars that jump in front of the semi real quick because they've given themselves a large gap that they need. I always think of, if I can't see their mirrors, they can't see me, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Just teaching the reverse to the truck driver on their awareness
Okay.
for us impatient drivers.
Mr. Lape looks like he's ready to come right up out of his chair. I'm sorry, did I cut you? Body language is everything, so.
Yeah, sorry, I want to be here to help. Adam Lape, Director of Operations. So yeah, really defensive driving, excuse me, is for us in the bigger trucks, more specific to that, like the blind spots that you know are there, but you kind of have to still patrol, which are hard to when you can't really see people. So they have different mirrors on the trucks. So you see a lot of like the round mirrors in the front. It's called a convex mirror. So you can kind of position those and you can move those about your truck to kind of see your spot. So they kind of coach you on that. A lot of times, and I haven't done this program, but just the defensive driving programs I've done, they'll coach you on that. And then also they try to teach you a little bit more about what you're in, because your weight's going to be harder to slow down and different braking techniques they refer to as like stab braking. They'll talk to you about, you have to pass that in your actual exam portion, but then they take it a little further. And some of the courses now give you that opportunity to actually perform that out in the field, which is a kind of a scary maneuver to let off the brakes when you're trying to stop fast, but it actually will slow one of these bigger vehicles down quicker. So you kind of utilize your weight to your advantage. But the biggest thing is really just kind of policing your own movements and being aware, but also you kind of got to watch everybody else and drive for them for a little bit, because we're just slow moving, and especially specific to the trucks we have. They're not going to, hurry up and go real fast. So we're kind of slow going. Our speed is our speed, even if we want to go faster. So you have to anticipate that. So that's the defensive side of things. When we pull out into traffic, we're moving around, we have our work lights on, for example, like winter maintenance. You just have to anticipate, how long it's going to take you to get up to 35, 40 mile an hour and make your decisions for others, if that helps.
Commissioner Smers.
Just one thing to add, one thing we teach we teach in our courses is when you have different types of loads. So if they've got a tanker, it's not going to stop the same as if they've got salt. It's
Right.
completely, the truck reacts completely
Yeah,
different.
It's like driving two different vehicles. So that's, they kind of coach people on that. Our staff becomes a little more familiar with that because we're hauling liquid often. A good majority of our staff will haul liquid at some level because of the summer maintenance we do for dust suppression.
Yeah.
And then we get to wintertime, we have the solid loads of the salt. But that's a diminishing load, so that you lose that weight over the course of your route, so then your vehicle stops a little differently. And so we were able to take it a little bit further. But that's kind of the on the jobs type of stuff that we get. And we're a little lucky to be kind of cross-trained in every environment that we work in, which is good. I mean, it's good to have 80 people that are comfortable in that scenario.
Thank you.
Also outstanding having a director of operations that carries and maintains the CDL.
Yes, yeah, we've made a few mistakes, so we know how to, yeah, we've practiced them directly. Thank you.
Speak with authenticity. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Adam.
And so lastly, what we send our employees through is the 15-day manual transmission program. They're there Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So they are getting paid those hours while they're there. The cost that comes across on the invoices is $5,245. They do sign an agreement that I have before they attend the course. Just for repayment purposes, it is a part of our policy, just like tuition reimbursement, fitness, boots. If you leave within 1 year, voluntarily leave within 1 year, that amount is prorated and you would owe that back. I've not had that happen.
Commissioner McCollum?
I was just wondering, Nicole, has this program attracted more minorities? I was hoping it would.
I'm trying to think. I know, I'm gonna say there should be 1 to 2, and I know 1 for sure, at least out of our graduates that are a minority that have
Okay.
graduated through
Okay.
this.
So seems like it has, right?
And it's, there's been, I know 2 graduates have been mechanics. What really helped us is, and I know a mechanic isn't a heavy truck driver, but they are required to have a CDL when they work here, and people apply and they have their master heavy
Okay.
duty diesel certificates that we require, but it's not common for them to have a CDL. And that is a requirement for us. You are driving our equipment, maybe from point A, point B, you're gonna go test drive it out on the road. So we have a mechanic that started yesterday that did not have that and will meet that requirement for us now. And then the other person that we have that started yesterday is a light truck driver. So he came from really the trash industry, which only required a B for what they were doing. And so we got him into a class. It's easiest for us to do once kind of winter's over. This is a good time period for them to be gone.
Thank you.
So one of the portals was the laborer position, right? To come in and acquire, but it sounds like there are other.
Yep, light truck, laborer, and we've had to do a couple of mechanics.
Mhm.
And actually facilities as well.
Oh,
Our Jared Kimball, yes, thank you. Graduated through that because that was a requirement as well. That was just, he needed a B, but we sent him through the full A program.
so they're hired in and that's a contingency for.
Yes, you are correct.
Other questions, Commissioner Yams?
I think I missed it. So how long must they stay before they have to pay it back if they leave
If
within
they
a year?
voluntarily leave within 1 year.
But it's
Okay, 1 year.
prorated.
Correct.
Okay.
Interesting benefit.
Mhm.
Really nice.
That's what I have for you today. Are there any questions?
I appreciate this background. Thank you.
There's some of the more, well, Everbridge isn't fun, but some of the more interesting things you don't hear about on a regular basis that is happening here.
It's more than knowing your health care and retirement benefits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that one comment?
Commissioner Swears.
So I want to commend you on trying to combat some of the big crew issues from within the employee division, as you said, they come in and talk about gossip and, you know, that type of thing. Which coming from leadership down, that doesn't mean anything coming from a coworker. It generally does. So kudos. Good program.
Thank you.
Do we still have a baseball team?
No, they do an informal like golf league. That's voluntary that people do. They'll send out dates of where they're planning on playing on a Friday. And people go do golf. If we ever do whirly ball again, I recommend you just coming to watch because that is competitive. That is, we get really into whirly ball. And it's, but people bring their wives, they, you know, and family. We've had kids in the whirly ball and it's a good time.
No laser tag?
Not yet,
Not
but
yet.
I think,
Discussion.
engineering has done pickleball, is that right? Did you, or were you just
No, we did not do
Oh,
pickleball.
okay.
We did.
Curling.
curling?
Oh,
So. Yeah.
where was the curling done? At the Cube?
It was actually at the pickleball place on Jackson Road. I forget what the name of it is. Yeah, so they had outdoor curling.
So it's not on ice?
In the winter.
It's on a
Oh, no,
synthetic
it-
surface? Was it?
It's on
No?
ice surface.
Huh.
I think some of us had bruises to prove it.
No check? Curling? Is that how that works?
Curling.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Anything else?
I-
We're good.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Nicole.
That was very good.
Thanks, Alicia, if you're listening.
Chair, I did, since we did have a little bit of time, if it would be okay, I'd like to provide a update on Working Road.
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
Outstanding. I'll have Brent come up as well. Because I'm sure he'll have some input at some point. So I thank you, Tiffany. She's already
Yeah.
one step ahead.
Yeah,
Always.
always.
As long as we move our
Always.
heads up, which I did. So
Or
we're,
if you're too slow, she's gonna say so.
so we did provide a update on Working Road. Tiffany, if you wouldn't mind scrolling down just slightly, there was a project update issued on the 4th of this month. In that, we did go back and review the design team after our public meetings. We did revise it slightly. So we have on under helpful links, you can see all the various materials. One of the is the revised Workner Road tree exhibit. So we were able to save a couple more trees. 6 trees, taking the total to, I believe, 42. So 42 trees proposed for removal. Previously, it was 48.
Time out. Do you have an accounting of how big those trees are? Because
Yeah.
someone hears 42 and they're gonna say, show your,
Yeah. So on the exhibit itself, it lists the size of the tree. So if you're curious and want to drill down, you can do so.
but you
we-
had that at one point in one of the info sessions. You identified how many and how big.
Yes, we have a tally.
Because I can't tell from this.
No, you can't from the screen, but if you are on your computer, you can zoom in and you can
Right.
see the size of the trees. And we do have a tally. At the bottom, there's a 42,
go.
but you can see,
Oh, okay.
very good. So you can see you'll have to go to a different
Yeah, you'll have to.
spot. Go north,
To the right.
go to the right and down. Go to the second page, probably. Yep. Second page. There you go. So now zoom in. You'll see on the left-hand side,
Yeah.
Ah,
There you
got
go.
arrows,
Diameter.
the count, the diameter. So these are things that a property owner can go on and review. Also, engineering team has spoken with all the property owners. Brent, you want to give an update there?
Sure, yeah, there are 6 property owners where we were proposing tree removal. We've spoken with all of them. We do have one individual that is holding off on signing the wood disposal agreement until after the the court hearing, which is scheduled for this Friday, March 20th.
Yes, as you probably are aware, there was a lawsuit entered. I'm not going to get into the specifics of that. But it was essentially, we've got a hearing to dismiss the lawsuit. Our attorney has got a motion to dismiss. So the judge is going to hear that on Friday, and certainly will provide a legal update after that. But we're still moving forward as if the project were to move forward as we anticipate. The sequence of that would be ultimately we need the wood disposal agreements from the property owners. And then once that has been secured and there's no legal hurdles, we have a forestry contractor that we contract for county-wide services that takes and does the forestry work ahead of our road construction projects. For example, we're building 4 roundabouts this year, and there were trees that needed to be removed in ahead of, because keep in mind, the tree removal is taking place separately because we're dealing with threatened and endangered species. So we can't disrupt the habitat of the trees for the bats during the pup season, essentially. So that the tree removals have to be done, I think it's April 14th.
Yeah, so the time frame is October 1st, between October 1st and April 14th. The end of the period has actually changed some. It used to be April 14th, and they went to April 1st, and now it's back to April 14th based on where we're positioned within the state of Michigan. So it is April 14th. We've told all the property owners, though, that these would be removed prior to April 1st, which is what the previous date was. So we're trying to stay within that timeline if depending on the results of the upcoming hearing.
So October 1 to April 14th is the window in which removals
Correct.
can be made.
Yep, and that's for environmental reasons, for the bat restrictions based on the pup season. There's also other wildlife, birds, and other migratory animals that for within that period, and that was so it's not just bats; it's also other wildlife with that nest within those trees.
Essentially a best practice.
Yeah, that's
which
the
our
right.
organization certainly adheres to.
Correct.
So that's the status. So if we move forward, we'll get the trees removed prior to that deadline, and then ultimately we're working on the road plans, finalizing those. They will be advertised. The project for the road contract will be advertised in April, and then we'll award the project at a board meeting in May. So the board would then need to approve that contract because it's at a threshold of about $1 million of work.
Correct.
That we're going to be approving for a contract. So that would come in May, and then we'd work the contractor once the award happens to develop a schedule.
Correct. Also within the project is a large culvert that we'll be replacing. That is taking up quite a, almost $200,000-300,000 of our budget. We're working with Eagle for those requirements. One of the requirements that we won't be able to remove that until July 1st due to spawning and other requirements. So we are in the middle of that process with Eagle. We expect that we'll be receiving that permit here within the next couple months to then proceed with that installation of that culvert.
And what's the estimated timing of that, Brent?
Of the replacement.
The culvert work.
So it'd be for the duration. We'll close the road because this section of the road we're also crushing, and we're crushing the pavement. So that'll take us probably 4 weeks or more, 4 to 6 weeks to replace that culvert.
And you're talking July, June?
After July.
After July.
Yeah,
Yep.
but that's one, we have not bid the project, so once we bid the project, then we'll understand from that contractor where that schedule would lie.
Yeah, there's certain restrictions for that culvert replacement that it wouldn't make sense to start the road work until
Right.
we get beyond that July 1st
Okay.
criteria for the. And again, when we do large projects like this that include, we want to make sure we're not only addressing the pavement, but also addressing any of the stormwater infrastructure. This case, we have a weight restricted culvert on a primary road, and it's going to be a substantial upgrade because we're essentially widening the width of that culvert for bank full flow.
Right.
So it's a better hydraulically, so that in the event we have large storms, that we are able to convey that larger volume of flow and get a long lasting culvert.
Yeah, it will be a concrete box culvert.
Mm.
And you've probably heard in other discussions where we've done aluminum box culverts, and this one will be a concrete, and mainly that's due to the amount of cover over top of that. We don't have a lot of cover between the road bed and the top of that culvert, so we have to have a more rigid structure
Got
there.
to support the road.
Correct.
Yep.
So the culvert is going to be wider, but the road is not going
Thank
to
you for
be
clarifying.
wide,
That's a great
Correct.
point.
to
Thank you,
be
Chair.
clear.
Very clear, yes, yes.
And
And-
the culvert is north of Ivy.
Yes.
They have it on the screen there. Thank you,
Right.
Tiffany.
Oakville,
Oakville, again, we followed our tree contractor will follow all those procedures for Oakville. And if temperatures get to a point where there's a concern for that, then they can seal those trees if there's any type of trimming required. But mainly our forestry work will be the removals that you see within the plan.
but we do seal immediately, right? Because
Correct.
that's critical timing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we follow the best management practices there
Mhm.
as well.
Commissioner McCollum,
So, what part are we voting on in April? Are we voting on the road? Because if the trees are already going to be done, we're not voting on that, right?
The board would be approving the contract for the road work, not the tree work. The tree work, ultimately, the project has been identified in the budget, and we're operating under the tree policy that we all abide by
Mhm.
for any of our projects, including the roundabouts. Much like the roundabout projects, eventually we're going to have an MDOT agreement come before the board. That essentially is that award for the contract, and MDOT handles the awards because they're bidding the project, but that contract is our binding, hey, we're responsible for fiscal local match and administering the project. So much like our roundabout projects, we don't come to the board for tree removal.
because we've already adopted a tree policy, this board has adopted a
Yeah.
policy.
I understand that, but what I thought. So basically the board is saying if trees need to be cut, we don't need to vote on it. Is that what this is?
Right, we've already set a policy that describes how we handle tree removal. We've got
Right.
environmental considerations, tree removal criteria, notification, third-party tree work. So if someone has a suggested modification of the policy, we bring that back here to address it.
Right.
So we do not do tree by tree vote kind of
Or
thing.
project by project that has trees that need to be cut.
No, typically those plans, we have our engineering team identify the plans and follow the tree policy, but the board doesn't approve the plans per se. They approve the contract
Correct.
because it's a threshold. Think about where does it lie in the policy? Why are we approving this? Because that's procurement. So anytime we're doing procurement or agreements, that's coming back to the board. The board isn't necessarily approving plans per se for any of our projects. The board does approve our projects that are in the budget. So the budget lists all the projects that we're gonna work on in any given year. And most of our projects, they all have forestry impacts typically.
Commissioner Smers?
I'm just trying to remember back from previous conversation about this a couple years ago, it was, that's all we would do is spend time on trees. You know, if we didn't have that policy in place, because it's every project, as you said, has trees. So I just, for the sake of projects getting done on time, that was the reason for the last time we had updated that policy, if I remember correctly.
Commissioner Yamas?
I had questioned previously, the Chelsea board passed a resolution about this project. And their concern was that there had to be an environmental investigation or impact or an impact study on what we were doing. Are we responsible for that? They are responsible for that? Do you remember that resolution that?
Yeah,
They
they're
passed.
aware of the resolution. We are not required to do any environmental impact study
Okay,
for the work that we're doing. We're not creating a road, we're merely reconstructing a road.
right.
So certainly aware of that resolution. We read it. We've worked and met with the city of Chelsea manager, provided her, city manager, she's new, provided her an update, and her staff on working a road, have addressed concerns from one council member in particular, and then obviously a lot of residents on this project are city of Chelsea residents. Very unique in that south of Ivy on the east side, that's all city of Chelsea residents. So we've addressed some of those concerns.
I remember on one of our chats, there was somebody from the council
Yep.
in that chat. So if they want to study, that's something that they'll do, right? Because we're abiding by everything, like
Yeah,
going through
we're not
Eagle.
required
the
for
culvert.
study. I can't say what the city of Chelsea will or won't do.
Okay. As far as our resolution, I know that we're following all the rules as we talk about the bath
Correct.
and the sealing of the trees and
Correct. And that's,
working with Eagle.
that's again, part of the lawsuit that's raised. One of the issues is that we're in violation of the Michigan Environmental Protection Act, and we are not,
Right.
in my opinion.
Commissioner McCollum?
Yes, so I attended the county commissioners meeting when you did the presentation,
Yep,
which I thought you did a very good job.
thank you.
There was a question though about only cutting 18-inch trees or less. And I don't know if the information was able to get out about why we can't stop at just the 18-inch trees. Can you tell me why we have to do trees that are 24-inch and 26-inch, and there's a 30-inch one
Yep,
there?
it's based on their location. So if they're gonna be in the way of the conveyance of the ditch or proximity to that forest slope, because obviously when we reconstruct a road, things are gonna change elevation wise, and we can't accommodate that existing tree being there, and we have to convey the water away from the road via ditch. We can't, much like a roof needs gutters, our road needs a place for the water to go. If we can't accommodate it with a curb, in some instances, there's a lot of discussion of the topography, and we've talked at length at a working session previously that the topography doesn't lend itself sometimes, and trees over time will grow up in our ditches or things that were ditches previously. And unfortunately, we've got to be able to maintain those ditches and water courses. Otherwise, we shouldn't be repaving the road if we're not going to address drainage.
Right. And the trees, the information that was talked about at the meeting was that trees are better for drainage. Is that always the truth, or?
I don't feel that's the case. Think about it in a rain event. So when it's raining hard, a tree it's not a sponge. It's not going to absorb the water, and the water has to have somewhere for it to go. Much like if when your water hits the roof in a heavy storm event, that water is coming into the gutters and zinging out the eaves drops. And you got to have somewhere for it to go. Otherwise, you're going to get erosion and you're going to undermine the foundation of your house, or you're going to undermine the pavement. So I don't agree with that statement.
Thank you.
I'll add also that the example that was brought up was down in an area that is actually, the elevation is below sea level
Georgia.
in South Carolina.
South Carolina,
Where,
okay.
Commissioner brought up, sorry. And so as you can imagine, basically that elevation is below sea level. So any vegetation potentially could help absorb some of that water. Where we're talking is not below sea level. And so to have that tree essentially, particularly in the bottom of a ditch, would not be absorbing. It's just
And the physics of water, it's gonna find its path of least. It's not gonna stay where the tree
Right.
is.
Right.
You look at the topography of the road, there's some steep slopes. It's gonna find its way downhill. And so you have to have a place for it to go. Just the physics of it.
I have one more question. So the 42 trees are in the road right away, is that correct?
that's correct.
None of these are beyond the right of way that are,
Correct.
They are not.
and there were a total of 250 what trees in the right of way?
251 trees within the
251 in the right of way.
Yep. And keep in mind, we did change the scope of work for that southern section, where we're not addressing drainage because we're just repaving the top layer of asphalt. So we're just milling and resurfacing that first 1,200 feet, starting at Sibley, going north. We're just resurfacing that top course of asphalt because it's in better condition than the rest of the road. Where we're reconstructing, we need to address drainage. So there are no tree removals at all in the first 1,200 feet.
correct.
And that's where a lot of the concern originally arose from. A lot of older oaks and legacy type trees.
Compliments to engineering for working with the residents and coming to the best mutually agreeable solution that you could. This has been pretty challenging.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything else?
We will certainly provide an update on how Friday goes
Okay,
and keep you posted.
all right. Thanks, Brent.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anything lingering anywhere? No. Okay.
Anything else, Chair?
You're good, Matt?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
If there is nothing further, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Support. Shelby, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the working session is adjourned. We will reconvene at 1 o'clock for a regular meeting.